Alright, so people want to know what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like a trick question. But you know what the answer is? Neither. This is why. This is an analogy like, about creation. Like, if there's a God, well, what created God? So let's go back to the chicken and the egg. So neither created the chicken and the egg. So chicken and eggs are just part of a cyclical process. An egg hatches and a chicken emerges, right? Only to lay more eggs and are repeating in a wondrous cycle. If you go back far enough, they would evolve into dinosaur ancestors, and further back, eukaryotic life forms, and further back, prokaryotic life forms, and further back to organic proto-life sludge, and further back to various chemicals stewing in a crater, and back further to stardust, and so forth and so on. And back further to the Big Bang, and, and back further something we haven't even quantified yet. So that's why you have to look at the whole universe, why there's no God. Obviously, because it never comes down, and because it's a process of billions of years that you really have to stretch and use your brain. You know, the religious people, they don't want to use their brain to go back billions of years. Uh, they think millions in years, but it's in the billions. It's a far way back process, and since it was so long ago, we kind of don't have the technology to even witness, uh, things evolving. But I mean, the only way we probably could, even if we had a time machine, we couldn't because that took over billions of years. The only way would have to be like a computer simulation, um, where perhaps in the future they take the sample of eukaryote or prokaryote, and I don't know, maybe in the future we'll have this kind of amazing machine where we could set this down on a slide, the microscope, and then we could run like a computer simulation going back to the billions of years, and I know this is stretching it, and we probably won't have this technology probably like in 20 years or this is like really kind of futuristic technology, but to observe this kind of evolution, we would have to have some kind of machine like that, and that machine, and you could actually see through the process of perhaps we could spin it to centrifusion, or we could spin it into a hydro collider beam, like billions per second, right, or whatever, just faster than light speed, and then we could run that clock, and then you actually, perhaps, like I'm saying, this is really crazy futuristic. I don't know if this ever be possible, but if it would be, it would be maybe 20 or 30, or maybe like 50 years. But anyways, um, basically, you actually see this, the prokaryote, eukaryote, the single cell evolve into life, and we could take all these kind of, because it's one single cell that everything came from plants, humans, and animals, and then we can have those together interact, and that's the mutation, because that's what happened. Things came together, the bacteria, cyanobacteria, and that's what created all these mutations. And I know it's very hard to to comprehend, especially if billions of years. But if we had some kind of machine like that, we could actually witness the beginning and the end. Um, and like I said, if we had this kind of technology, it'd probably be like 50 years from now. It'd probably be, um, if interstellar travel would be possible, which scientists think probably 50 years from now, or time travel would, it'll be a very long time and very futuristic. And I think it's possible because I'm coming if I'm coming up with the idea, I'm sure some scientists are thinking about the idea. They already thought about time travel, and they actually made atoms time travel from one. They had this atoms from molecules from one galaxy case to another. It transported, and that's what there's a book out there with time travel. But if we had some kind of machine like that, we could actually witness evolution from a billion year perspective, which would be insane. And I don't think if if we had that kind of technology or machine, it'd be a hell of a long time. I mean, because that kind of futuristic technology, you'll be simulating something from witnessing from your eyes and from billions of years perspective. I mean, the only way you could do that probably would be like a computer simulation. But I'm talking about actually physically, because that's what religious people want to see. They want to see the physical evidence, or actually everybody wants to see the physical evidence of evolution right in front of your eyes. And if we had something like that, we could witness billion-year evolution. And if I'm thought about the idea, I'm sure scientists have already thought about the idea. Uh, and and if by then, um, and if we could witness, and then we find out how the first cell emerged, that would actually prove to everybody no God. Absolutely. So, and I think it's possible, but it's probably it's gonna be like we're talking like we're in a Type Zero civilization. We're talking like Star Trek, kind of civilization technology. Beam me up, Scotty. We're talking about like some really really futuristic stuff. That's probably not going to be in our lifetime. I mean, 50 years or more. I mean, or even more. And by then, and that's the only problem because there's two evolutions: the micro, which you can see the changes, and the macro, which is the hard one because of the billions of years. It's you know, like I said, even if you had time travel, you went back to her, you couldn't even witness the evolution from a cell, from cell to animal to plant to human. You couldn't witness it because you would have to be there for billions of years, millions of years. But if there was, it's kind of like called cheating. It's kind of like when you have a game genie on a console, right? And you do this cheats like for unlimited health or unlimited activity. You're cheating, um, but um, but instead of cheating, you're accelerating. You're accelerating time at a rapid pace. Um, and they got something called like cheating death. Ray Corso takes 150 pills a day. He actually wants to live like forever, and they think actually this is already proven that um, so this is actually possible. We have learned how to live longer, and there's like the special pills, and so I don't know. I think they think like it's 10 years longer than the average lifespan, and if it's 10 years from now, that means even like 20 years or even more, or 10 years more, we actually will figure out how to even live longer. So so scientists, if you're out there, start coming with that idea, um, and I'm pretty sure you already come up with it because you're scientists. You're always thinking of like the future, and hell, I couldn't think of how to simulate the Big Bang, and you did with the Hydra Collider beam. So I'm sure somebody's out there thinking about this. That's how we can actually observe evolution. I think that would be mind blowing. That would be so amazing if we had that kind of technology or machine that could actually do that. Maybe perhaps one day.